This is IA Forward, your playbook for success as an independent insurance agent. Here to help you knock it out of the ballpark are your hosts, Shane Tatum and Tonya Lead.
Welcome to IA Forward, and we have got a heck of a show today.
We got the bromance together.
We do.
It's strong in here.
So why don't you introduce our guest today?
So back for the second time, the fabulous Robby Jabbour.
Look at you using my word.
I know, fabulous, right?
What did I do to warrant fabulous?
I don't know. You just showed up this morning. So Robby's our managing director of agency development, and then he also moonlights on our retail operation as our resident life and health expert. I mean, no, he really does. He really does. So
how'd that make you feel today?
As needed.
No. You know, we're not a huge life and health organization, but Robby's the guy. He takes care of us. And the reason Robby has that hat is because we have the legend back in the house today, Mr. Jeff Havard. And so Jeff is formerly with Integra and formerly our life and health agent expert. And now he's a regional director, sales director, something like that. Pretty important for National Farm Life.
Yes.
So he is a life insurance guy.
That's correct.
We have a life insurance guy hanging out with the property and casualty people. It's really, really kind of awkward. And then,
but insurance is insurance, right? That's what everybody says.
Everybody thinks that's right. But we got this really cool thing today. I thought, let's talk about life and health insurance in property and casualty agencies. So welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
Welcome, Robby.
Thank you.
So tell us what you do, Jeff, and how you work with property and casualty agents to bring life and health to their world.
As Shane said, I'm the regional coordinator over the East Texas area for National Farm Life, which encompasses Houston and all of that area as well now. So my role is to actively recruit new agents for us at National Farm Life, and then also to work alongside of those agents and bring the life insurance to them. That's not obviously something that most property and casualty agents really spend a ton of time concentrating on. And so I'm there to kind of let them know, hey, what we're doing and different ways that they can bring that to their current clients.
When Shane first hired me, one of the things that he had me do was a study on personality types between property and casualty insurance agents and life and health agents. And the personality types are so incredibly different, and the thought processes behind their business. But so many times we see our P&C agents say, oh yeah, I want to add life and health, because they're thinking insurance is insurance. So talk to us about the differences there.
It's just a different conversation with your clients when you're talking about, you get so used to just sitting there talking about their home or their auto or their toys, whether it be boat or four-wheeler or travel trailer, whatever it is. And as a property and casualty agent, a lot of times you just get focused on doing those things that you're most comfortable with. And life just kind of gets put on the back burner most of the time.
One of the things that's interesting, I remember the story when you walked in my office when you were a P&C producer and you were started out moving over from captive channel agency owner to being a producer here, and you walked in and you actually had a really, really good presentation for once. And so I have to give you some credit there. But it was the math. You kind of spoke to the numbers guy. You laid out, I just presented this small commercial account, their proposal, and if they take it, it's going to generate like $300 or $400 a year in revenue for the agency. But along the way, the owner and 2 or 3 employees asked me to do life insurance quotes for them. And then when you did the math on that, it was actually going to generate like $3,000 or $4,000 for the agency.
Yep.
And it was kind of one of those deals where you're like, I think I should move over, if you would bless this, I think I should be like the life insurance guy, and we should have like a life and health expert. And I was like, well, you had me at 4,000, right? And so it is different, but life insurance is not nothing. It's pretty good, right?
Correct. Oh, correct.
It generates a lot of revenue for agencies.
It does.
So what do you think the holdup really is for property and casualty agents to really be really good at life insurance?
A couple of things. I think one of them, it's the conversation that they just may not like or feel comfortable having the conversation with their clients or, with their insureds, because it's just a different conversation. You're not talking about insuring a car. Now you're talking about insuring their life. And sometimes that's uncomfortable for people to talk about. I look at it as, it's my job as their insurance agent to protect them and protect everything about them. And life insurance is a part of when you're literally protecting all of them. That's a big part of it.
We talk a lot about policies per customer, and we talk about it in our agency group. We talk about it in our retail operation. We talk about it on this podcast. One of the stickiest customer retention strategies is you add life insurance, right? It is the most important coverage that we would offer somebody.
Correct. Right.
Yet there's a roadblock.
Yeah, it's going there. It's putting that client in that position where they got to think about not being here and how that's going to impact their family. And so having those conversations from the agent side, I can see where it can be difficult. You just don't want to go there. But we are our biggest asset, right? I mean, without us and without our income, it doesn't matter about the house and the car and the boat and all that. You've got to protect yourself. It's a mindset. It's a focus thing. I think if we can kind of get out of just focusing so much on the P&C stuff and see that the client is their biggest asset, then maybe we can have those conversations a little bit more.
Do you think the stereotype of life insurance agent?
Oh, probably. What is it, Ned Ryerson?
Yeah. I mean, is it the Ned Ryerson effect from, was that Groundhog Day?
Yes.
Groundhog Day.
Yes.
I mean, is that...
When you said that, my brain automatically went to Groundhog Day.
We need to find a way to make it cool again or something.
Did you whoa. Did you just say we're going to find a way to make life insurance cool?
Yeah. Why not?
I'm not that good.
That's a whole...
from a marketing perspective, I don't know if I'm that good.
I think we hired you for. I mean, marketing, branding. I mean, surely you can pull that off.
The pressure.
To be honest with you, it's probably the toughest sell as far as products are concerned. Because you think about it, most people have a mortgage, most people have an auto loan. So those things are a must. You have to have that coverage, right? Because you've got liens.
Right.
But selling something where it's, you don't have to have it, it's just a different approach. It's just a little bit more difficult of a conversation, I think.
I think until somebody has been through some kind of
100%.
Major loss where they realized it was necessary, it's an out of sight, out of mind.
Absolutely.
And that's when most agents write life insurance. Is one of their clients come in and say, hey, my mom just passed away unexpectedly, or my brother passed away unexpectedly, and I see what our family's going through. I don't want that to happen with us. That's most of the business that property and casualty agents write, is when somebody comes in and asks for that.
So do you want to know when my parents got their first life insurance? So my mother was at the hospital. She had just had me, and the person that still does their insurance to this day came to the hospital when I was born to make sure that my daddy had life insurance to take care of me in case something happened at the hospital.
That's a new level of ambulance. That's like, whoa.
That's right.
Birth announcement.
That's right.
There's our lead generation.
There we go.
That's right.
There's probably somebody listening that's like, I do that. I've been doing that for 10 years, right?
Or 40.
40, that's right.
So is it easier for a P&C guy to add life and health, or for a life and health guy to add P&C products?
I think it's way easier for a P&C guy to add life and health than vice versa. The guys in the P&C world that are very successful writing life insurance, when they're having the conversation with their clients, they're bringing up life insurance first. And they'll do it as, hey, I know you came in, we were going to talk about your home that you're buying, or we're going to talk about your auto insurance, and that's great, and we'll get to that. But before that, I want to talk about the most important asset that you guys have, and that's you yourself. And they lead with it as opposed to throwing it in at the end of the conversation.
I concur. The life and health guy trying to figure out how to get into the P&C has been a struggle.
But those folks are great at life and health.
But they're failing.
Yes,
and
I
think that's also part of the deal. Like when they fly in on their private jet to come to the orientation, you're like, okay, these guys are pretty good at what they do. I'm exaggerating a little, but not much. Right. But they are very good business people, and they have very good life and health agencies, very strong life and health agencies. So it's not a matter of they're not successful. Right. It's a matter of they haven't been able to make that transition to add property and casualty
to their opportunities, to their product base. And that's the part that I just keep asking for that pain, because I just keep thinking it's got to work. Right? It's got to happen. This individual, this life and health agency has 3,000 life or in health or Medicare customers. How in the world could they not attract 500 of those? 20% of the customers, surely they can add auto and home. It's just a huge struggle. And I just can't figure it out.
I know that you work with several of our Integra partner agents, and I can remember one of these guys calling me one day because he was so excited because he was having such success with his life insurance business. And this was one of our agents that really doesn't get excited very often. And I was thrilled to see this for him. One of the things that I see as a challenge with the guys that are coming in as life and health agents is it almost seems like they are embarrassed to be adding P&C products, or they see P&C agents almost as kind of a second-class thing, and they think that it affects the relationship that they have with their high-end clients, talking about millions of dollars, if all of a sudden they're presenting what they see as equal to Geico. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think you can go several ways with that. It's not only a P&C and a life and health guy, it's even financial guys. You think it's the same way. I don't know that it really is, but I just think with anything, you've got to get past all of that stuff and go, look, if I'm coming from the life and health side to the P&C side of things, it's still my job to protect my clients. And that's everything. You're just adding something else to continue protecting them. I mean, that's our job.
Excluding the financial wealth managers from this thought, the life and health, med sups, that part of the business, if the idea is I'm going to go prospect a client, and then I'm going to have that client and I'm going to have these products. We talk about being their full-time agent, and we talk about clients being our full-time client. I think that expands to life insurance. I think that expands to potentially Medicare supplements, or especially depending on the area. Like we have a retirement area. This is something we're not focused on a retail basis. If you think about, okay, I've got a prospective client, and then how much share of wallet can I get from that client? That's the goal. Then your policy per customer goes up, your retention goes up, your revenue per client goes up. And I would contend that the transactional nature of P&C actually goes down. For whatever reason, those clients don't change vehicles every month. They don't seem to have constant billing questions or servicing things. It's just the nature of it.
Correct.
Who is your perfect client?
When it comes to life insurance, I don't know that there's the perfect client out there, because there's all different clients at different phases of their life, where you've got a young family that has a lot of debt and things, and the husband and the wife may need more insurance on themselves, and they get some policies on their kids as well to start them out young. You've got that, so you're insuring the whole family. But then you come across somebody that may be in their early 70s that has some medical issues, that is not financially where they thought they would, and now they're realizing, hey, we need something for when that time comes. I've got to have something to take care of some things. You've got to be able to take care of all of them. I don't know that there's a perfect client. As young as you can start them, you want to insure them the whole time that they're,
So what's the best piece of advice you would give to a new agent starting out?
Start doing those processes from the beginning. Get in the habit of asking the questions, or the tough questions that we think might be tough. Get in the habit early on of talking about that. Maybe leading with the life insurance conversation. Just don't be afraid to get to know your clients and not make it as transactional as it could be sometimes on the property and casualty side. Look at it like this. If you had a printing press and it was just literally in your basement, and it just sat there and printed $85,000 a year, $100,000 a year, or whatever, I guarantee you would insure that printing press. The client is that printing press. They're the ones that do that. They're the ones that are bringing home the money, that are working, that are doing things and building the future for that family. And so we've just got to do a better job of protecting them.
Not that we could get into the garage because of all the junk that we
have.
Right, correct. Yeah, exactly.
We couldn't get to the printing press. Right? But when we got this thing over there,
there's this speck over there in the corner, but it's working.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
we don't have basements, but we got
When you
garages.
said that, I'm
Full of
like,
stuff.
I'm from North Louisiana. Like, we don't have basements.
Well, we don't have basements, but we got garages full of stuff.
That's right.
Plus 2 storage units.
That's
full
right.
of stuff,
Oh, gosh, yes.
Yes, that's another thing we do.
So, Robby, as our director of membership development, I ask you that same question. What's the advice that you give to everyone that's coming on board with us?
The first thing is to listen, because there are people that have done it before you, and I think we do a fantastic job as an organization partnering new agents with consultants and having the support in-house to help agents get off the ground the right way. But I like what Jeff said, practicing the processes as soon as possible and training yourself to do those things over and over and over again and not try to figure it out 2 or 3 years down the road.
You know, and some people use the term automation when it comes to creating those processes. In fact, our last podcast was about automation, and we discussed that word scares people. But really, all automation is exactly what you guys are telling us to do.
It's a process.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've been kind of in this mode over the last year or two, and I'm starting to question myself, because I know if I make a mistake, which is obviously not very often.
Where's Julie? Can we get her in here?
I keep trying to get her on the podcast. I really do.
She's so far avoided it.
She has.
We got to figure that out. But I've been kind of in this marketing versus sales thing. Tonya and I have had debates like, is the sales process dead? And
No.
Robby and I talk about this. And so I'm going to throw this out there. Like, is sales dead, or is sales still alive as a thing within our industry versus marketing? So marketing over here, sales over here. I kind of see those things as 2 different things. Is it a marketer's world? Is it a salesperson's world still? Where does that fit in when it comes to the life insurance world?
Nobody wants to be sold anymore, right? I mean, is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
That's what I've been saying, right? I didn't even pay him to say that. He listens to our podcast.
No.
That's how he knows to say that.
I do listen.
Yay!
That's great. I think sales has been replaced with relationship building, personally.
All right.
In today's world, I feel like the personal touch matters a little bit more. And so building relationships with your clients, they listen more, you gain trust. And I think that's where the additional stuff, the life insurance, things like that come into play, where your client's going to be, this person knows what they're talking about. I'm going to listen to them because I appreciate their advice. But the marketing is there. I mean, I think that's how it gets to you in the first place. But I think sales has been replaced by, in my opinion, relationship building.
But I started in sales 20-something years ago, and since I'm only 28, y'all can figure that math out yourself. But I had 2 of the most phenomenal mentors that I shared an office with at the time, and I was told then, stop selling. You got to build relationships, because if you don't build those relationships, they're not going to believe a word you said. Correct. So I think you can go back 100 years, and it's always been about relationships. But I do think that there are some people that are just better at that, and we consider them the best salespeople.
Sure.
So I think it's the same thing.
Okay.
So
I think sales is transactional.
Absolutely. And I was going to say that, and my mind went to direct-to-consumer online purchasing, insurance. The relationship piece, I think, has been evident with some of these companies, Shane, these insurtechs that have tried the direct-to-consumer and then found out very quickly, hey, we got to get into independent agent offices because that's how we're really going to build this thing and get to the people we want to get to.
Relationship prospecting, maybe building relationships even at the prospect level, is important, and I don't think it's a waste of time. It's like, well, they're not going to buy. Well, they're not going to buy from you today, but that doesn't mean they're not going to buy from you down the road, right?
But if you treat them well, then they're going to tell their mama, and they're going to tell their aunts and uncles, and they're going to tell the chick at the grocery store about you, even if they don't buy from you today.
Sure, that's right.
I think on the life insurance side of things, it may be true on the P&Cs, but I think you've got to ask them or talk to them about the life insurance, I think 7 times before you actually get the chance to write it.
So we know you're the relationship expert. We know that you're our life and health guru. So how do we fix my golf swing?
Ask my son, maybe. He's 12 and getting better than me already. already.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
He's got a great swing. I mean, it's great. A lefty.
He is a lefty.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. He's a little Mickelson, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, he can't beat me yet. He can't beat me yet. We have a wager going, and he gets a prize if he beats me before he turns 18.
Okay.
Wow.
And so
That's
How
going to
old is
happen.
it's going to happen. He's
gonna
12.
Okay.
It'll happen way before he turns 18.
Are you the type of parent that backs off, or do you just pound your kids in the ground like every time they try to compete with you?
I'm trying to get better at backing off.
Because we know
I want them to earn it. If they're going to beat me,
Absolutely.
they're going to earn it.
You can't give them anything.
we're not backing off. If there's a wager,
That's right.
okay,
He's going to have to beat me.
okay.
Yeah.
It's a real it's a win.
That's right.
It's a real win.
It's a real win.
Okay.
Well,
I
they're
like
the same way.
Yeah, I'm bad. I'm the dad that like was slapping the basketballs all the way across the court when they were 6, and I had the 3 foot, not much more than that because I'm not very tall, but the 3 or 4 foot height advantage.
Yeah.
I loved being taller than my kids for a little while. I mean, I've never been taller than anybody in my life, so there was no way I was backing off.
Yeah, I bring up golf because that's such a quintessential thing when it comes to insurance agents. You always hear about agents are spending half their time out on the golf course because that's where they make their money. But I think there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to just what we're talking about earlier. It's a relationship business. You build relationships different way, and a lot of times that might happen on the golf course. I also think there's probably those of us that have used that as an excuse at times too, and say, look, I'm out working, or I'm out here building relationships or playing golf with a client, when we're probably just playing golf with our buddies or whatever,
That's fair.
The originaters of remote hybrid work.
Right.
We're golfing insurance agents, right?
That's right.
I'm working from the house this afternoon.
That's right.
I'll be back in the morning.
We had an agent when he came on board with us. I think the first 8 times I called him, he was like, "Yeah, I'm out on the golf course," and I was like, "Okay, yeah." At some point, you got to
It's right.
I need you behind the computer.
That's right.
But I knew that that's exactly what he was doing, and he's extremely successful at it. So I always pick on him a little bit, but I get it.
Oh yeah, totally. You just got to have a balance, because you can start using that as you look up and now you're playing 4 or 5 days a week and you're not growing the agency side of it either.
Do you think spending the money to sponsor golf tournaments or to enter teams into golf tournaments helps grow your business?
Yes, I think doing those things is just going to keep your name out there. I don't know that anything is going to come immediately from that, but I just think overall, if you're trying to be a part of your community, I think that's where that comes in.
Yeah, that's a
I
must.
think the ones that struggle with that are the ones that really have a hard time separating what is branding.
Yes.
What they just can't get their head around building a brand. They think, okay, I buy this ad, I sponsor this thing, so how many policies do I sell because I did that thing?
Right.
And that doesn't necessarily work that way. It might, but it probably doesn't work that way. You have to continuously do that over time to build a brand, to create a funnel, to create a prospect, to create an opportunity. That's the thing that I hear that's a struggle for some agents is, I bought that ad once.
Right.
So, and I didn't get anything for it, right? And it's like, it's not the way it works, right?
Also remembering, if it's something like a golf team, make sure that your team is branded. Make sure that their shirts, make sure that their visors are branded. Make sure that people know who you're playing for. And I asked Jeff this because he's our semi-captain of our Integra golf team.
Yes.
He's our ringer.
Our Integra full of, I don't know the golf terminology because I don't play golf, but
They're ringers.
A-level players.
They're ringers.
Ringers. Okay.
Scratch.
Yeah, scratch golfer.
I don't know. We got several scratch golfers.
Y'all never asked the cute boy to come in and play.
Yeah? Is he a scratch
He's
golfer?
pretty good.
Okay.
He's pretty good.
Don't
ask me.
Well, we have.
My long game is terrible. Now, my short game's pretty good. My long game, I still have trouble getting lift.
Well,
it's just a challenge.
We have tryouts in the fall and spring.
You've got to make the team.
it's
I'm not going to make the team.
It's not an
step in and
automatic
play.
thing.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
You got to have tryouts
That's right.
or a reputation
That's right.
that
That's
precedes you to make the team. It's just the way we work.
I am
around
much
here.
better at driving the margarita cart than I am playing. But Jeff, so tell us, if you could give a compliment to yourself, what would it be?
I learned a long time ago just to love people, and that everything that we do, whether it be insurance, whatever it is, if we make it about people, that we're going to be okay.
You want to give a quick plug on how people can get in touch with you?
My name is Jeff Havard. National Farm Life is our company. You can look me up on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and you can look up National Farm Life on all of those as well.
So I'll also include that on our social media pages, so you can very easily get in touch with Jeff. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna let you leave us today with your favorite quote.
So my favorite quote is, "The comparison is the thief of joy."
Who said that, Jeff?
The famous philosopher Robby Jabbour.
Robby Jabbour. So your favorite quote is Robbie's favorite
Robbie's
quote.
favorite quote. Yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
Go ahead, Shane.
This leaves me speechless.
I think this is when you're supposed to say, attitude's a choice.
Attitude's a choice. Make a great one.
Bye, y'all.
Ready to get the ball rolling with your independent agency? Learn more at IntegraAgent.com. That's IntegraAgent.com. Thank you for joining us on IA Forward. Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now, or learn more at IAForward.com.